Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Tuesday, July the 23rd, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary video brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. Want to first start by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session for the day here. The Dow closed up 22 points, the Nasdaq closed down 21 points, and the S&P 500 closed down 3 points. We take a look at the breadth on the market today. We had 3,215 issues advancing. We had 2,944 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the AMEX. Therefore, breadth was in favor of the bulls today. So let's go ahead and jump into the charts. Before we get into the video here, I want to remind you guys to go check out the website, wallstreettrading.com. A lot of good information now out there on the website, a lot of free education information that will definitely give you guys some new strategies, some techniques that you guys could possibly apply to your trading. At the same time, we are now teaching our active intraday traders course. If you're located in the South Florida area, we will be hosting a class at our office on August the 10th, 2013, next month. So be sure to go check it out. A lot of good stuff to come your guys' way that follows some of our analysis, some of our different things that we like to bring to the table to our followers and subscribers. Aside from that, let's go ahead and jump into the video here. Again, let's go ahead and take a look to see how the markets traded today here. Starting off with the SPY daily chart. You can see we closed down 36 cents on the SPY, closing at 169.14, down 0.21%. We had Apple come out with earnings after hours. Let me see how the market's trading right now. Let me see real quick how the SPY is trading. Let's see here. Let me bring this up for a second, guys. All right, so the SPY is currently trading at 169.38. We closed at 169.14. So 169.48 today's highs was 169.83. So we're pretty much still trading inside the mid-range of today's price action there. But either way, some levels we're looking at here. You can see how the trend on the moving averages, it's not really steepening up anymore. It's kind of slowing down a bit. You see how the angle, this angle that we have right here, all right, is much different from the angle that we have right here. That's one clue to take note of. All right, and you also want to recognize that we are extended a bit from these key moving averages down here. The 20-day moving average, the 20-day exponential moving average, the 50-day moving average. So again, we're using these short-term key moving averages as our gauge as pretty much our gauge to see when this market wants to pull back in a bit. Until then, we're just sticking with the trend, buying the dips in the market, which has been working against some key levels. For example, today we talked about 1686 on the S&P 500 futures being S3. We gave those levels out on our Facebook page. If you have not been our company page on Facebook, go check it out. It's under Wall Street Trading. We gave that level out, and we bounced off of that to the T, 1686 all the way back up towards 1692. That was a nice that was a nice little 6-point rally off the lows. And until they stop buying the dips, you just got to keep on doing that. Until then, stick with the plan. So again, levels to watch now on the SPY. Keep an eye on that 169 level. We break below 169. We have some support down here around 168.20, which is that 20-day. I'm sorry, that 8-day moving average down there. The simple and exponential are kind of in the same area, 168.20. And then when we break that 8-day moving average, we'll start looking for lower price levels to watch out for. But until then, use that one as your closest short-term support level on the daily time frame. 169 and then 168. We made new highs today, as you guys can see here. Yesterday we hit a high of 169.74. Today we hit a high of 169.83. So new highs today. A little bit of change in characteristics though intraday. We did have some nice selling pressure. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and bring down the ES chart that we use in our chat room. This is the same setup that you will see in our chat room. The 5-minute on the right-hand side, the 15-minute in the middle, and then the little 30-minute on the left-hand side. Take note of what happened here. We had some selling pressure that came in during the day. A nice little bearish uprising channel. Once we broke that channel that gave the selling pressure came in. We actually got short in the room for a nice little scalp trend on the ES from 1690 all the way down to 1687. But then we're back up from those Apple earnings. But again, we did see some weakness in the market today, and then we did see some follow-through action with those sellers trying to get back and slam the market down. But then Apple had some earnings today after the bell, and that caused the market to bounce back up. So either way, we'll gauge it tomorrow. We definitely want to see how Apple trades going into tomorrow's open and how it handles the open and everything like that. So those are the levels to watch in the SPY. as far as resistance, there's really no resistance to the top side, so we just have to keep on gauging the strength and looking around the different sectors to see what sectors are going to try to roll the market over for a pullback if we do get a pullback, or I should say when we get a pullback, because we're going to get a pullback soon, but nobody knows when. So when we get a pullback, we're going to be looking around to see what sectors are actually going to try to lead the market back down. Usually it's the leaders that lead the market back down, so maybe the financial sectors, they want to cool off a bit. They could probably cause the market to sell off a bit. Taking a look at the ES and the daily chart, you can see how just some little tight candles here, some little wicks coming in, some spinning candles they call it. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Sorry, I kind of talked a bit too much about that. But let's see here, triple Qs. All right, triple Qs led the market down today. Tomorrow they may gap up with after earnings. We had earnings come out from BMW, they did pretty well. We had earnings come out from Apple, they did pretty well. So therefore, the triple Qs could have a nice gap and trade higher tomorrow. Maybe do a little shake and bake action, trapping some longs today. If we get a break, if we gap up towards today's middle range, then we trade over today's highs. All right, we'll be taking out the previous 2-day highs. That will definitely catch some short sellers off guard and have them covering some of the shorts, which will fuel the Qs and possibly make a move back up towards the 75-50 level. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, just for instance, taking a look at Apple here, which Apple is currently trading at, let's see, Apple's currently trading at 437.44. We know that Apple has a key level around 440 as resistance. So if Apple could close above 440 tomorrow, that would be a good sign. Or better, even if it could close above this little pivot right there, that 435 level, that would be a positive sign for the stock, which actually looked like it was about to roll over back down towards 410 or so. But then they came out with their earnings, and their earnings report, investors took that pretty good. So therefore, we're moving back to the top side here in Apple. We'll see how it holds up. Anyway, back to the indices here. Starting off with the IWM. IWM made new all-time highs here on the Russell 2000. Notice how the range and the candlesticks are starting to get tightened, starting to tighten up here. We're not really getting any wide range candles. Today we had a range of 70 cents, but we're not really getting those dollar ranges like we were back here. Look, $2.33 range, $1.72 range. So volatility's kind of quieted down here, and we can see that in the VIX chart, which we could take a look at here shortly. So anyways, on the Russell 2000, let's go ahead and cover this first. On the Russell 2000, you want to watch that 104 level on the daily time frame. Again, we're using these key moving averages to kind of measure the strength. You can see the trend was pretty steep here. All right, now it's starting to kind of slow down a bit. We'll just go at a little, I would say a less steep angle, if you could say that. But 104 is level to watch. Then 103, the daily time frame. Again, there's no resistance above us, so we just want to keep on watching the different levels that we move up when we hit new highs. Watch those levels intraday, and we'll start forming some type of resistance pretty soon whenever the market decides to pull back. Back to that VIX though that I was just discussing here. The VIX making a new low here as far as for the month. All right, new lows for the month. We're actually broke below this 12.26 pivot low right here, and we also are not too far away from breaking below 12. If the market goes up tomorrow, this thing should break below today's lows and try to fill this gap. We do have a gap down here, by the way, on the VIX, which is right here from this candlestick, around 1150. All right, that comes from right here, folks. See that gap? All right. All right, so that's the VIX. Let's go and take a look at the dollar chart. Remember, we were watching that big megaphone pattern on the dollar index, U.S. dollar index. We see how this dollar index is starting to get weak, and we're actually starting to catch a bid in some of these commodity stocks. If you guys watched the week in review video, I highlighted this pattern to you guys before, letting you guys know that this is not a good pattern at all. And if this plays out, we should take out these lows right here. Oh, sorry. Take out these lows right here. What's going on? Take out these. Come on. What's going on here? Sorry about that. We should take out these lows down here and possibly try to make it towards the bottom of that megaphone pattern. Let me go ahead and move this channel out. Move this channel out. You guys can see it much cleaner now. You see that? Not bullish at all, which is giving us the reason to start focusing more on these precious metal stocks, which we have been saying that since this week, since we started noticing that dollar's starting to pick up some more little pep in the step to the downside, and the commodities are starting to actually get a lift. The commodity stocks are trading a little bit stronger, like they have a nice little bid underneath them. Some of the names are, at least. Like X, FCX, AKS came out with earnings today. They beat on the top line. I'm sorry, they beat on the bottom line, missed a little bit on the top line, but the stock traded higher. which caused a nice bounce in some of these other commodity stocks out there. CLFX, FCX had a nice little bounce today. The gold miners are bouncing today, and it has to do with this dollar. This possibly being the next big leg down in the dollar. So if that happens, that you want to be positioned in commodity stocks kind of right now, or at least maybe a week ago or so, to get the best entry. As the more this dollar pushes down, the better bid that some of those basic material stocks are going to catch. I mean, not all of them are catch a bid. I mean, the crappy companies are going to catch a bid, but the good solid companies are going to catch a bid. All right, so we'll take a look at some of those stocks here shortly. Let's go and take a quick look at the euro dollar here. I want to see how this is looking. The euro dollar making its move back to the top side, back above that key 132 level. Looks like the next target is going to be up here towards 134. I wouldn't be surprised if that dollar continues to move to the downside and this euro makes its way up towards the top side, up towards its 134s in the coming days or weeks here. So we'll keep a close eye on that. May have to polish up my my symbol for the euro futures and start looking at that again, as there could be some nice opportunity in the coming days to weeks to trade this euro to the top side if it can stabilize above this 132 level. So let's see what else we got going on here, folks. Let's go and take a look at the commodities, starting off with the gold futures chart. And let me put these moving averages back on my screen here. What do you know? The gold is back in business. Let me see if I got my drawings here. Oh, took that off. 1 second here. Take this out real quick. All right, so it looks like gold's back in business, guys. So at least it's almost about to be back in business. We still got to get above, I would say, this 1360 area and stabilize above it. But once we broke over that 1300 level from this little consolidation that we had off this little low, that little breakout we had yesterday had some nice follow through today. And if we get above 1360, anybody that is short gold that maybe covered some down here, or they're working their stop with a break even, or they're still short but they have the break even stop on their other half, whatever the case may be, if it breaks over 1360, anybody that's short with a stop above that major breakdown level right here, they're going to get stopped out. Some buy stops will get hit, and this will cause for another little pop and go maybe up towards these 1380s, and possibly maybe back up towards these 1420s, which is the next major level to watch out for if we do break and hold above these 1360s. So right now, gold's looking pretty good. We definitely are looking at some of these gold mining stocks, and a lot of traders in our chat room are trading those stocks. I really haven't been able to get my hands around any of the good gold mining moves that have been taking place the past couple of days, but we've been catching some other nice trades as well, so kind of makes up for not focusing on that right there. GDX is back above some of our key trend line analysis that we have had on this chart for the past year or so that are still in play. You can see we're back on this little key trend line right here, and we're holding above this 27, this 2630 area. So next level to watch in the gold miners, it's going to be up here towards this $30.82 level, or call it 31, and that's also going to line up around this 3020 area, which coincides with this 20-day, this 100-day simple and exponential moving average, which most likely could be the next target on the gold miners on the GDX if this thing starts to hold its bid, continues to hold its bid. Let's go and take a look at crude oil. All right, crude oil has been pulling back a bit today. I believe it made a nice little rally off the lows today. Yes, it sure did. Nice little rally off the lows. Still has a decent level of support down here around 105. Has resistance around 109. May chop around this area and wait for these rising 20-day moving averages to catch up to it before it tries to make possibly make another leg higher. Again, this thing breaking over 109 and the 110 can make a nice little fast move up towards 115. So you definitely want to keep your eye on this market and your eye on that sector for some of those stocks that are going to move up when crude oil moves up. All right, so what else we want to take a look at here? So let's take a look at some stocks. I already took a look at Apple with you guys. So let's look at this Amazon. This stock has been a pretty strong stock. It's pulling back right now as it should, because it's overextended. You don't want to be buying the stock right here, the breakout level. I would say the perfect breakout level was on the back test, over the high, or better yet, over this 281 level. So we're at 301.06. I think a good level to try to pick up Amazon would be on a pullback towards this 290 area, so back in these rising moving averages. Remember, this nice little power move, especially if we see low volume on the pullback. Now, Amazon has earnings coming out on the 25th, which is Thursday, so it could get a little bit interesting in the stock. But again, they ran it up into earnings. Hopefully they could pull it back a little bit more on the before the earnings date, and then when the earnings comes out, it makes a move back up to the top side. We'll see how it plays out. Nobody knows what's going to happen when the earnings reports come out. So again, if you're looking to trade it intraday, good, but I would not hold any positions going into Thursday because they report. Let's see, after the bell or before? Probably most likely after. They usually report after. Yeah, after the bell. We had some nice movement in the basic material sector, like I was discussing earlier here at X US Steel. Right, made a nice little move off of AKS Steel earnings. They have a key level of resistance right here at $19.25. If it breaks over 19.25, you want to be looking for a move up towards 20, which is going to hit this 200-day exponential moving average. They have earnings coming out next Tuesday on the 30th of July before the market opens. CLF. This stock had a nice little bounce today up as well. Basic material stocks are coming back in play again, folks. Let's see. Next resistance level on this one, I would say, is up here towards this little breakdown right here around $20. All right, so about $1 left in that stock. You know, it is kind of grinding its way higher. Had a nice little gap up today, followed by some momentum action today. Nice little range on the stock today, but you know, still has a lot of technical damage done. As you guys know, the stock has been getting clobbered for the past year plus. What else are we looking at here? FCX, another basic material stock. All right, copper had some nice strength today. The dollar selling off. Let me see. Let me hide the drawings here. Keep an eye on this stock here. You could draw this little trend line from the high that we made back here in looks like September. Oh, draw a little trend line right there. You can see a possible target on the stock is going to be up there towards that 32 level right there. All right, better yet, you could draw this little high right here. Draw this little trend line. You can see we're going to have some resistance right here from this trend line, this high, right there. So around 31 trend line resistance, but as far as price resistance from prior support levels that have broken down that are going to act as resistance, now we have resistance around this area right here, around 30. Next resistance around 30.55, around 31.75. The breakout level was right here at 28.75 or so. So it's only up about $1.25 from the breakout level where most momentum traders would have bought. You know, look for that move. There's still a nice little ascending triangle there. What else? Again, the gold miners, GG. You got Newmont mining. You know, GG looks like it wants to maybe go back and back test this area. Remember, prior support acts as resistance, and when you usually have a nice little tight consolidation that ended up being a key breakdown, that level usually acts as a magnet. So this thing still has the potential to move up towards 32. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with earnings and the earnings are decent and the stock gaps up to 31 and trades up towards 32, and then that will be an area to take some profits. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, I like to look at different scenarios so I can have different ideas. Oops, sorry about that. So I can have different ideas planned out, same way you should. What else? TXN had earnings this morning or after the bell yesterday. I'm not sure which one it was, but the stock did trade higher than reverse, low topping tail there. Got to keep an eye on this one. Should have some more players that are looking to trade the stock intraday, so the stock should be in play intraday tomorrow. What else? What are some other good stocks that performed pretty well today? Give me 1 second. Let me look around real quick. ABT. Not sure what news came out of this stock. This stock was up over 2.5%. Could have some follow through tomorrow. Next resistance level on this one's around 37.50. UTX, United Technologies. All right, this one held the Dow Jones up pretty good today. Keep an eye on this one for some follow through tomorrow. HPQ was up this morning, holding the Dow up. Looks like it came in a little bit. Still, nothing much there. But, you know, the market's still hanging in there, guys. I mean, we really can't, you know, you just got to stick with the trend. All right. Again, we're at these higher levels, I say these high prices that there's no resistance above it. So it's going to be pretty easy to figure out when the, you know, when it's time to leave the bull party. All right. And again, the first sign of that, especially on this ES, is going to be when we start trading or these moving averages from the 8 and the 5 start to flatten it out and show that momentum's kind of dying out. That's going to be the clue. That's going to be the clue that, all right, the market's getting kind of tired. We're either going to trade sideways in the range from the bottom to the top. We're actually going to get a nice little pullback in where we could look to get short some stocks that have not been able to rally, or look to get some stocks, get short some stocks that are extended from their breakout level, stuff like that. And when we have those, when it's time to look for those setups. We'll let you guys know. Aside from that, have a great day, folks. Make sure you check out our website, wallstreettrading.com. If you're interested in our active intraday trading course, contact me at ccooper@wallstreettrading.com. We have a class that's being held August 10th at our Miami office. We also plan on setting up a webinar class, and so far we have some people that have signed up, so it's pretty good to see that people are respect our analysis and they like what we do over here, so they want to learn kind of our little strategies and techniques. Aside from that, folks, have a great day. I'll catch you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:30 in the mywallstreettv.com chat room. To get access, go to our home page and fill out the form on the right hand side. Cheers.